Hi, my name is Georgette, and I'm a student educator at the Sanger Learning Center. Some people mistakenly think that netiquette refers to an arbitrary or outdated set of rules. In reality, netiquette is your way of representing yourself online and defining your character when you can't be seen face to face. How you conduct yourself in online communications creates a lasting impression on your professor, TA, and fellow classmates. Let's talk about some of the ways that you can establish this kind of personal brand. In a traditional, in-person class, there are countless ways to establish your personal brand as a student and create a favorable or unfavorable impression. Show up to class and be on time. Take notes. Make eye contact with the professor. Avoid creating distractions by keeping your phone out of sight and on silent. Ask and answer questions. Avoid interrupting your professor or classmates and don't have side conversations. Professors may also make assumptions about you based on things like where you sit in the classroom or if you bring your books with you to class. In an online class, there are fewer interactions upon which your professor, TA, and peers will judge your character. That means that the ways you do interact with them becomes even more critical. Let's consider one of the most important examples. Email and watch as two professors discuss poorly written email messages from students.
I'm Professor Shaw from the Government Department.
I'm Professor McDaniel, also from the Government Department.
We've been asked to look at a couple of examples and provide some constructive commentary on how you might improve your interactions via email with professors.
All right, so let's begin. Hey, Mr. McDaniel, I just saw my grade on the first paper and was pretty disappointed. I worked really hard on it and I think that it deserves a higher grade than what I got. I'm not sure how the TAs or you were grading. Was there a rubric? I really need to get an A in this class. What should I do now? Thank you, Amy Jones. Hey, no. Hello. I said it worked for Adele, it can work for you. Mr. McDaniel, I did not spend 6 years in evil graduate school to be called Mr., Doctor, Professor, will work just fine. I just saw my grade and was pretty disappointed. Okay, that's really, but then I worked really hard on it, and I think it deserves a better grade. It's basically saying, you know, I've cheated you in some way. No, that basically turns people off immediately. So if hey didn't turn me off, that did. I'm not sure how the TAs or you were grading, so basically were you just throwing darts at a board, doing things willy-nilly? Was there a rubric? A better question to ask is there a rubric that I can reference so I have a better idea of what to do in the future? I really need to get an A in this class. Key thing there is get as opposed to earn. And so the idea here is you're basically putting the onus on me, not on you, to do well in this class. No, you earned the grade. This ain't Oprah, I'm not giving stuff away. What should I do now? That's a very broad question, all right? So what I would say is get to the point. May I meet with you to discuss my grade and to look over the rubric so I can do better in the future? I was disappointed in the grade I received, and I want to earn an A in this class. Thank you. And you're being very professional. And one of the key things about being professional is owning up to your responsibilities.
I read Brad's. Hey, Professor. I was sick with the flu yesterday and had to miss lecture. This is the first time I haven't been able to watch class, and I'm worried that I missed one of our daily quizzes. Can I take the quizzes at a different time? The syllabus says there aren't makeup quizzes, but this is the only one I've missed, and I don't want my grade to be hurt. Also, did I miss anything else important during class? Thank you very much, Brad. Okay. Brad kind of opens reasonably strong. Hey, Professor. Professors insist on being called Doctor. You need to know that going in, but professor or doctor is almost always appropriate. The closing is fine too. Thank you very much. Sincerely, all that's good. I was sick with the flu yesterday and had to miss lecture. That's fine. You've given me context. You've stated exactly what happened. This is the first time I haven't been able to watch class, and I'm worried that I missed one of our daily quizzes. All right, now you're moving off into something a little more treacherous, and that is, if it's a daily quiz, you certainly missed it. You know, so you're worried about it. Well, if you understand how the class functions, you wouldn't be worried. You know, I missed one of the daily quizzes. Can I take the quiz at a different time? All right. What I like about this is you've actually offered a specific request. So that's actually what we want. We want a brief email that has a point. There's a professional relationship here, correspondence, student to professor. Any correspondence should have a point. However, the next sentence, the syllabus says there aren't any makeup quizzes. Okay, so you're asking me for something that is a direct contradiction to stated policy in class. So why would you be doing that? Well, the clause here. But this is the only one I've missed, and I don't want my grade to be hurt. All right, you've basically offered no justification for asking for an exception to stated course policy. This is the only one I've missed. Well, so what? And I don't want my grade to be hurt. Well, that's a given. I mean, no student wants their grade to be hurt. So you're asking for an exception to stated course policy. You haven't offered any kind of real justification. Also, did I miss anything else important? Here's where the student crosses the line. As sort of a throwaway sentence, did I miss anything important? Two problems here. One, the presumption that the professor is going to take away is that you don't think most of what you say is important, right? Can you basically highlight anything? Because your typical lectures, there's only a few things that are important. So that's not a smart way to approach it. The second thing, too, is there's an implication here which is I want you to tell me what I missed in class. We don't do that via email. Remember, we want brief emails that have a particular ask. Ask yourself before you write the email, what do I want out of this exchange? Be specific. Don't give us a lot of extraneous information. Context is good, so the illness, the identification of the illness here is good. But again, a better way of saying this would be, I was sick with the flu yesterday. What is the policy about makeups for university-approved exceptions? A little bit of improvement and would have been a perfectly legit email.
Yeah, the best emails are the emails in which you're actually prepared. So Brad should have read through the syllabus. Same thing with Amy in this example. If you read through the syllabus, a lot of your questions are answered beforehand, and so when you do email the professor, you can have a very specific question in hand.
To represent yourself, well, through email, follow these guidelines for communication. When you email your professor, start with the formal greeting and address them as Dr. or Professor. Identify your course and unique number. Professors have hundreds of students every semester. This will make it easier for them to identify you and provide the help you need quickly. Keep your tone formal. Do not communicate with faculty members the way you do with friends or family. Also, keep in mind that it's difficult to interpret jokes or sarcasm through email, so don't risk being misunderstood. Proofread your email before you hit send to make sure you have correct grammar and punctuation. You want all of your messages to appear professional. Consider what types of questions or concerns can be answered via email. If you need to discuss a sensitive issue or want to review feedback on a test or paper, you might want to request a face-to-face meeting in office hours or a Skype conversation. It would be very difficult and time-consuming to have those conversations via email. On the other hand, if you have a very simple question, you should make sure that the answer is not already written on the syllabus or posted elsewhere on Canvas before you waste the professor's time. The timing of your email is also important. If you have questions about an assignment, make sure to ask them well in advance. Emailing the professor an hour before the deadline can make you seem irresponsible. If you send a message late at night or on the weekend, be aware that you may not receive a reply until the next day or Monday morning. Be patient as you wait for the response and resist sending a follow-up until your professor has had ample time to read and reply. Make sure to show gratitude for your professor or TA's time. Don't email your entire class or reply all, unless you really mean it. Everyone hates having their inbox fill up with spam, and few people will think kindly of the sender. What's worse, you might accidentally share personal information that you can't take back. Be attentive. Double-check the recipient before you hit send. Conclude your message with your full ID and name. Your communications with your professor, TA, and classmates and emails, chats, and discussion posts create a lasting record. When your professor reflects on your participation over the semester while determining final grades, these are things they may revisit. To make sure they remember you as a respectful student and valued member of class, practice good netiquette.